Welcome to my lair, XP Tyler lair, where all my secrets and private affairs are located. Today, I was just sitting in my lair, okay? And I was thinking about normal stuff like Sydney Sweeney and Kratos. I was doing the glazing of God of War and for its peak in story and gameplay, but I thought to myself, does everyone else think the same as me? Does everyone else love God of War just as much as me? What do you guys like? Seriously. Well, that's the point of today's video. I wanted to explore the best stories in video game history, and further, which one features the greatest. Before I get started, I just wanted to shout out to all my subs today. If you're watching and you're not subscribed, well, do it right now. Because in a video like this, I could randomly bang! Yeah. If you didn't know this is one of my subscribers. Aren't they so cool?
Let's go.
Okay, one more. And bang! Fire! Okay. Enough of that, but you should subscribe. And it's important to the economy. And alright, let's get into this dive today. So first, to solve my conundrum, I looked at some of the most popular games of all time. I mean, they are popular for a reason, right? Let's look at Red Dead Redemption 2, God of War, Spider-Man, GTA 5, Uncharted 4. Damn, these are some really good games. But we're not looking at the games today, we're looking at the story in particular. This is gonna make a lot of people leave, but I have never finished Red Dead Redemption 2. Trust me people, I have tried. Many times. Something about the amount of meaningless missions that take like 40 minutes just get me drier than SpongeBob in that one episode in Sandy's crib. Now, we can save God of War for later, because some things you need to save the best for last. Spider-Man is a contender, but there's a big reason why that and games like Arkham Knight aren't the best story of all time. The media behind it. When I think of the best story of all time, I can't see a superhero game like Spider-Man being up there, simply because we've already known this character and the antagonist he faces. We need a game that features new characters, a new world, and new threats to face. Not saying the Batman and Spider-Man games are bad, but they cannot feature the greatest story because of the lack of its creativity. Let's take a closer look at some of the games that go under the radar. There is one I automatically think of in this debate: Detroit Become Human. The creativity of this story is incredible. It features new characters and a new threat that is civilization that really astonishes the gamer. I believe this game's story has what it takes, but let's continue searching. There are tons and tons of sequels to other games that feature an amazing story. Let's look at some of them. Silent Hill, Mass Effect 2, The Witcher 3, and Portal 2. Now, these games are hard because most of these games have previous successors to act as setup for these stories. Let's give you an example. Let's take a story and its sequel such as Jedi Fallen Order and Jedi Survivor. These are both great stories, but Jedi Survivor shouldn't be praised because it is the effect of Fallen Order. During Fallen Order, Cal fights the oppression of the Empire while also figuring out the Jedi he needs to become. With Jedi Survivor being after this, it can't be the greatest story because it lacks the development the first game has. This might sound confusing, but in the end I cannot give the best story of all time to a sequel. Now this has some exceptions. Exceptions such as GTA 5 and God of War 4 feature new characters entirely with new locations to the story. In GTA 5, this is the first time we meet the big three, being Michael, Franklin, and Trevor. It has the same story mechanics as the original, but it has a new story entirely. God of War is similar. Kratos is older, has a son, and overall fights his inner demons that the first game created. There are many more stories like this with it being a sequel, but these two are the ones in discussion right now. And obviously I chose to disinclude any multiplayer games to this debate. Some feature stories, but the aspect of having multiplayer throws off the direction this story goes. Some other games with less recognition are Subnautica, The Forest, and A Way Out. These stories are all great, don't get me wrong, but they lack some features needed to be the greatest. Subnautica is the lack of characters and dialogue in it The Forest is not enough background / story to understand the whole picture and all the lore tied in it. And A Way Out is just, there's not enough length for it to be the greatest. Let's talk about why there isn't a lot of horror on this list. You guys know I love horror, but with horror featuring games with plenty of jump scares, it's easy to get kind of fatigued from that kind of scare that diverts the focus from the story. Now, there are games that don't do this at all. Resident Evil 2 is one of my favorite games, and I believe its story is one of the best I've ever played. I definitely believe it deserves a spot on the Mount Storymore. I've yet to look at a game I think has the potential for a best story. Can you guess what I'm thinking? Guys? Okay. It's The Last of Us. Is The Last of Us the first time we're introduced to this world? Check. Is it the first time in its franchise? Check. Okay, we have another contender. Let's put it in the debate with the 4 others. Now we have 5 candidates. Let's look at these in more specific. GTA 5 has some of the best mixed story. It features 3 unique stories that intertwine at many points. This is similar to Detroit Become Human. 3 different stories, intertwine events. If I had to choose purely based on story, I'm gonna go to Detroit just for its giant pool of different decisions you can make. Detroit has over 40 endings, with each one being unique. I believe this factor puts it above GTA 5. Now let's look at the 3 others. I love God of War and The Last of Us equally. I believe both stories are beautiful and are similar in more ways than you think. Both feature a father-like figure that struggles to parent a younger child. As the story goes on, they both discover the importance of their relationship. Both are super touching and really bring out so much raw emotion during it. If I had to, I'd pick The Last of Us story because it features a more creative world than God of War. God of War is set in the 9 realms that have been featured in other media many times before. With Last of Us being set in Seattle, a place not many games have featured, it also creates a world of waste and overgrown. This world is of ruin and people fight to survive, to live, to see the next day. I find this world so interesting, and there's a reason they made a show and another game on it. Now we're looking at the 3 candidates for the best story of all time. All of these could be classified in my opinion. I think Detroit's story is much more inspirational to us gamers. It tells the lesson to stand up for what you believe in, and the powerful movement of equality. Even if these are androids, you still find the parts to relate to them. Resident Evil 2 is more immersed in my opinion than the other 2. You're making your way through a abandoned police station the entire time, and there are zombies lurking throughout it. I find this much more immersed than the other 2, and your booty is pretty much clenched the entire time. I think immersion definitely goes to Resident Evil 2. I love this game so much. But I believe what The Last of Us has, no other game has better than it. It's the relatability. Joel's character as a survivor who lost his only daughter and learns to create a whole new relationship is so powerful and important. It shows the lesson of moving on, letting go, and the overall importance of family. With this being the one that hits close to home, I give the game with the best story to Plants vs. Zombies. The amount of lore in this universe is insane. Dave's character is so full of depth and power. The insane plot to eat the plants to further eat Dave is just so compelling, and it deserves to be praised for its greatness. Nah, only joking, it is Last of Us. Now, some of you guys are mentioning how my videos are always kind of short, and to be honest with you, I want my video formatting to be as straight to the point as possible. I don't believe in stretching a video out just for watch time. That's it. So what did you guys think? Do you agree with The Last of Us or another game? To be honest, I am really looking forward to seeing your guys' opinions on greatest story. There is no wrong answer. And always, I thank everyone for watching today's video. And my friends, this is XP Tyler, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace, nerds.